Hi, I'm Pat McGoy, an artist. I'm a landscape painter primarily, and I've decided to put together a series of training videos to help other artists. There's been many people in my career who have helped me. This training video is on mixing color. There are a series of outcomes you'll get from taking this course. One of them is you'll buy fewer colors and definitely artist grade colors. Your work and your paintings will be easily harmonized. Once you complete the exercises, you'll have built yourself a color library for reference. Every artist should own a color wheel. On one side, you get information about mixing color, and on the other side, you get suggestions on how to use color in paintings. These are all theoretical colors, and you have to learn how to use your own colors. In this set, we'll give you instructions on how to do a color wheel. Please take a minute to print out the instructions plus this template. And we'll use an example now to show you how it's going to be used. First of all, you have to pick 3 of your primary colors, a yellow, a blue, and a red. We walk through the wheel with you, and we show you how to mix your 3 secondary colors. Using your secondary color and your primary color, we next mix the 6 tertiary colors. Once that's completed, we add white for the next level of wheel in order to come out the tints of each of those colors. Here, have a look at a second color wheel using 3 additional colors. The idea here is when you produce your color wheels, you're able to compare the colors off those wheels. In the first example, you'll see we've come out with a beautiful violet. Well, on the second chart, we've come out with a lovely orange. Let's go and build our first color wheel. The example I'm using here, we're using Cadmium Yellow Light, Ultramarine Blue, and Alizarin Crimson. We start through the color wheel putting on our primary colors. That is Cadmium Yellow Light, Ultramarine Blue, and Alizarin Crimson. From here, we move into the secondary colors. Yellow and blue make green. Blue and red make violet. And red and yellow make orange. It's our secondary color and our primary colors that are used next. And the naming convention is we're using the green, but we're adding yellow to it. We're near the yellow. So the first color is called yellow green. Then we're down using the blue and the green. So it's blue green. Then it's violet blue, orange red. That's orange yellow. And you have to go back and get violet blue or blue violet. It's always named first by the primary color that it's beside. Adding titanium white to each of those colors, we then come out with a tint of each of the colors. You'll notice that when the colors are mixed and they are dark colors, there's very little differentiation between the colors. They just all seem dark. Get used to mixing your colors in dark and then testing the actual color in white before you're satisfied with the mix. That way you'll know that you've got a really pure pigment versus other people will take the 2 colors, add white, and then mix those together. I always mix my pure colors together first, add white, and test it until finally I come up with the actual color I want, and then add my white to get my tints. You'll see that this series of colors has mixed a beautiful violet and a less than stellar orange. And that's what you'll learn through doing these color exercises. What are the color combinations that produce the best results for the colors you want? This is quite theoretical. So you should know that when we're actually mixing the colors on our palette, we're running one color into the other color. That means that for each color on either side of it, we get a warm and a cold version of it. So as the green becomes blue, it creates a warmer blue than when the blue becomes a violet. Best illustrated by this orange becoming a yellow, in which you'll see that that yellow, being cadmium yellow light, is quite cool color, and now it's actually one side, it's warm. Now we're going to give you a chance to work. Great place to stop the video and get out your paints. And here you'll have a chance to work on your first two color wheels. Whether it's acrylic or oil, get out a yellow, red, and blue, paint your first wheel. Another set of yellow, red, and blue, and paint your second. So here I'm going to use a split primary color, and I'm going to show you how an artist would apply that to a painting. So here's a little bit about the paint. Use professional grade colors, meaning they're a single pigment. For example, this is Ultramarine blue, which is pigment blue 29. Here's a list of the pigments and the pigment numbers. And on the palette, I set them up as warm coming down the one side and cool across the top. In this painting demonstration, I'm going to use shades of green. And this is a way of developing what are the green possibilities. It's taking your full split palette and mixing it. So you can see me using ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, cadmium yellow light, and cadmium yellow, and mixing a combination. And here I am remixing them and adding red to them to see how the green is dulled down or grayed. I know the red will dull them down because red is opposite of green on the color wheel. Here, using red and green, come out with a black, and then testing the black with a white in order to make sure that it really is a fully neutral gray. And in this painting, I've done all the other parts of the painting using that split primary color, and I want to show you now how to use those greens in order to paint this tree. I'm using a palette knife here instead of a brush, meaning that the paints will go on much thicker and be very in a very impasto or textured painting. You'll see as I paint here that the tree on the left is the focal point and will get the most attention with light. So the dark parts of that painting have been done with a very dark green. For the two trees on the right, the dark in that painting have a lot of red in it in order to dull them back. I've decided that the ultramarine blue is going to produce a more attention-getting yet green. And I'm using the darker colors in that combination in order to fill out the main branches of the tree and to give it shape. You'll notice that orange that's sticking out. That orange is in fact the tint that was used on the canvas before I started painting, so the entire canvas was painted that color. It is kind of an orangey red. I always suggest artists tint their canvas a color, whether it's a red or I typically suggest a warmer color, so it could be a yellow or a red or an orange. And that means that when you start to paint, your colors look right away. In other words, on a white canvas, your lights could end up looking far too dull, and your darks could end up looking way too dark. Where with a neutral color, the colors as you put them on look about right. On the back two trees, which are definitely not the focal point, I'm using again that neutralized or grayed darker color. That means that the phthalo blue is mixed with the two yellows and then reds in order to keep it both dark and grayed. The term gray, by the way, meaning that you've desaturated the color with other colors. So the tube color has been desaturated. So in art books, an artist will refer to it as graying the color. Building up the base of the tree and definitely looking at the definite overall shape of the tree and the balance. Picking up now on a lighter, straight yellow color and mixing it in various spots. A little tiny bit of cadmium yellow light and much more of cadmium yellow. The way I paint with this thick paint or impasto paint means I can put in colors that actually mix them into the other colors right on the canvas. Albeit, I don't usually do that. I actually pre-mix that, so I've got the actual shade of yellow that I want. But I can actually put on the raw yellows and mix them in right on the canvas. And I'm imagining that the tree is backlit by that sunrise or sunset, and it's causing light to hit the tree at various points. I'm making sure that the highlights make a big difference between the two sets of trees. I left this in as well to show you that most artists I know at some point during their painting will start to paint the painting with their finger. There it is, the finished painting. So thank you very much for taking the time to work your way through this video. In future paintings, use a split primary palette, mix your own colors, and harmonize your painting and do your color charts. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a minute to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next video.